Okay. What we need to do here is we need to take the slope that of the line they gave us. They gave us, in for number 40, they gave us that equation, and we need to take the slope and we need to use the negative or opposite reciprocal of it. The thing about that equation is that they didn't actually give it to us yet in a form where we can see the slopes. We need to rewrite it. We need to say minus x, and we get 3y equals negative x plus 16. And dividing everything by 3, we see, I'm just going to write it here to the right, we see that we get y equals negative x over 3 is like negative 1x over 3, negative 1/3 x plus 16/3. That's not relevant to us. What's relevant to us is the slope. Their slope is negative 1/3. We want to use the opposite reciprocal. What is the opposite reciprocal of negative 1/3? Well, we flip it and change the sign. So changing the sign makes it positive. Flipping it turns it into 3 over 1. They're not equal, of course, sorry. We're doing opposite reciprocals, so I shouldn't say equals, but perhaps putting an arrow to turn it like that, okay? That's the slope we want to use, 3 over 1 or 3. So if we're going to write our equation of y equals mx plus b, and use the slope they gave us, which is, the slope that we need to use, which is the opposite reciprocal of the slope they were using, so we're going to use a 3. And we also need to plug in the coordinates of the point they used over here, negative 3 comma negative 4. So y is negative 4, x is negative 3, plus b, okay? And when we simplify this out, we get negative 4 is equal to negative 9 plus b, adding 9, we find 5 is equal to b. So our equation is y equals, we're using a slope of 3, that's the negative or opposite reciprocal of what they gave us, and our b value is, we calculated to be 5. So that's the equation that we're using. Where do we see that? We see it right here in A. So A is our answer. And we're going to do the same thing down here, except look, yay, they already gave us the slope, negative 1/6. Our line is perpendicular to that, and that means that we need to use the opposite reciprocal of negative 1 over 6, which is now positive because that was negative, and 6 over 1, or 6. So we want to use the slope of 6. And of course, that already eliminates D as a possibility because that's not what they're using. And let's do it. We say, oh, and notice this, they're using point slope form, so that makes it easier for us. We can say y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And we can just substitute in the coordinates that they are giving us. So we can say y minus their y coordinate is what? Their y coordinate is 2 equals the slope of 6 that we're going to use, brackets x minus, what are we subbing in for x? We are subbing in negative 1, okay? And that, of course, will simplify to y minus 2 equals 6 parentheses x minus a negative is positive 1. So that's our equation. Do we see that? Y minus 2 equals 6 parentheses x plus 1. We do. We see that there in B. So the answer is B.